friends. Happy Thursday. I'm just going to make sure that this pops up on the other side of the screen. We know the routine. We know just want to make sure that I'm in frame before I officially get started. And it looks like we're almost good to go. I know that there's a delay, so... And yes, happy Thursday, my friends. Welcome back to Template Thursday with Tammy. Today is Thursday, January 29th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you are watching me during that time, you are catching me live right here on YouTube. Come in, say hello, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you are a new time viewer. I always love to see those. I always love to see my returning friends. And come in and say hello. Even if you're watching the replay, please come in and just say hello. Leave me a comment. Hello, Christopher, my friend. Welcome in. How are you today? Hello, Patty. I know, I'm excited today too. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tammy Civello and welcome to Cards by TLC. And this is episode 4. Like I mentioned, for 2026, I will be making my own templates. Here's my cute little binder that I created. And then we have our episodes, and each template is in each download on my blog post. You too, Chris, is on my blog post usually the next day if for some reason life doesn't happen, and life happens, but this will be up tomorrow on January 30th. So here is today's templates. We have the horizontal. We always do the horizontal, then we rotate it and completely change the look. And one template, 2 ways, 2 different looks. That is my theme. So these are the templates that we are working with today. And here are our projects. So we have the horizontal view and then the vertical view by just rotating that and changing the look. We are bringing in some perennial lavender designer paper today. Again, an oldie but goodie. I've got to use this up. This, I have a feeling, might be going away. It was a carryover and it has been in the annual catalog for the past year. And I have a feeling this might be officially going away after May. So we are using the perennial lavender. This is in the annual catalog and can be purchased in the online store. We are using the dies, the butterfly dies from Beautiful Butterflies. This is on the last chance list. So if you want to get this bundle, it comes with the dies, the stamp set, the coordinating dies, and the embossing folder. This is a hybrid embossing folder where it cuts and embosses at the same time, or you can just emboss. But we are just using the butterfly from that today. Let me put that down. The Sentiments, friends. The Sentiments is a fabulous Sayings sentiment set. It is the product of the month. With the product of the month, I absolutely love this because each month Stampin' Up! Has been featuring what they call the product of the month. When you place an order in my online store or any demonstrator's online store of $75 in the US, you can purchase the product of the month for only $5. So with the $75 purchase, this can be purchased for $5. You know me, I am a font girly. So anytime I have some amazing sentiments with fonts, I'm going to grab it. And I believe the font is, or the font, I believe the product of the month for December is even still available. So you can either choose this one, the designer paper from December, or the stamp set from here. Now this is a one-time purchase and it is while supplies last. So if you want to grab that previous designer paper, you can only choose one or the other with a $75 purchase. So I would personally grab a good font set anytime you have happy birthday, thank you, sending love, just hello. This is a overall great font set. Let's see, I have some more friends coming in today. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Okay, so friends, what else are we going to show you today? Well, guess what? I have the new stamp positioning tool. I am so excited to play with this today. We're going to be using it while we create our cards. But if you are a current Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can pre-order this up until February 2nd. Then on February 3rd to March 2nd, this will be part of the join offer to be part of my Stampin' Up! Community. If you join during that time frame, in addition to the already amazing deal that we have, choosing $125 worth of product for $99 plus free shipping, you will get this stamp positioning tool. Now, it does not come with the additional tablet of our grid pad. You do have to purchase this separately. This is $15 for 50 sheets, but you can purchase these now. Even if you are a demonstrator and have pre-ordered, you might want to order that and not forget like I did, but thanks to my dear friend Patty here in the chat, she did a solid and gave me her extra pad. So her replacement pad is on the way. So demonstrators, you only have until February 2nd to get this. Otherwise, it probably won't be available to you until later on in the year. I'm not 100% sure when, but we are going to be playing with this today. I'm going to kind of show you how it works and some tips and tricks along the way. But let's go ahead and get started on our projects that we're going to be creating. Again, these are our templates that we're using. We're going back to a standard card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Now I did these in Highland Heather, but I'm going to switch it up because I love the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock coloring that is in this paper. So we're going to change things up and do the Lost Lagoon. And let's get started. Let me bring in the first layout sketch. Again, so we have 5.5 by 8.5 for our main card base. I'm using basic white for my 4 by 5.25 panel piece. Then we're going to do a strip along the middle here at 1.25 by 5.25. And then we're going to have 2 panel pieces at 1.75 by 3.25. And we're going to use the largest circle die, which is I think it's a 3-inch circle, but you can do 2 3/4, 3-inch, whatever. Oh, my friends, hello, how are you today? Oh, my chat is blowing up with my TikTok family. So let's go ahead and get started and craft along here. So we are going to start off with our 4 by 5.25 piece of basic white. We're going to put that on both the inside and the outside panel piece. Hi, Tammy. Welcome in. Jen, welcome in, my friend. Okay, so we have our basic white. That's going to go there. That's going to be our background piece. And then I have this design that I need to still cut. And we are cutting this at 1.25 by 5.25. I'm just going to go ahead and do both strips for both card bases. I am good, Tammy. How are you doing? So 1.25 by 5.25. And what I love about our Stampin' Up! Trimmer, our paper trimmer, it's definitely different from others because with our Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it can cut, it's got a cutting guide as well as a scoring guide, which makes folding our card bases in half a lot easier, and it has an extendable arm that goes all the way just past 17 inches. So it's great for scrapbooking as well as card making. And I started out many years ago as a scrapbooker, and then I was introduced to card making about 25 years ago and fell in love ever since. And what I like about it is it has a light gray and a dark gray that tells us which one is our cutting guide and which one is our scoring blade. Okay, and then we're just gonna put this right in the center. I just wanted to keep things a little simple today because I really wanted to showcase the stamp positioning tool and how easy it is. I had what was formerly known as Stampin' Up's Stamparatus, and it had a door. And I found that the hinge door got in the way in a lot of cases, or didn't give a solid stamped image right out the gate. And let me tell you, friends, I was hooked the minute I saw this. So we will do that in a moment. So here is perennial lavender paper, and I'm going to be cutting this at 1 3/4. I'm going to already trim it down to 3 1/4, but this, because it has an orientational design, I'm going to do this cut a little differently because when I rotate that, I want the flowers to go along with the orientation of the paper. So we're going to trim this down to 3 1/4. And we can save this for the inside panel piece if you would like. And then we're going to trim this down at 1 1/4. Did I do that correctly? Yes. Okay. I was second guessing myself here. So 2 strips at 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. I'm sorry, 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. Thought that was a little thin. 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. Okay. And so that is just gonna lay right on top of here. And it must have got stuck to that. Okay, I literally left this on the paper trimmer. Okay, there we go. I'm doing real crafting with y'all, friends. Okay, then that's gonna go right there, leaving a nice little edge on from the left side, as well as I'm going to leave the same amount of distance from the side. It's about maybe about 3/4 of an inch. And then I have already pre-cut out the butterflies ahead of time. Since I switched up the cardstock, I went ahead and add the designer paper that had the leaves in it, and it makes really, really pretty butterflies. And then I have already pre-cut out the largest circle dies from the Stylish Shapes dies, and that's going to go right there in the center. But now we get to do some stamping on the new stamp positioning tool. So let's come in. It comes in a nice box, and it has instructions, step-by-step instructions in English, French, Dutch, and the Netherlands, I believe. So that is that. It does not come with the grid paper, so you definitely want to grab these. Otherwise, it literally just comes, oops. Let me take these off. It comes with a foam bottom, which is great for stamping because it doesn't move. It definitely holds that in place. It comes with 2 magnets. Thank goodness that they improved the magnets. The magnets on the Stamparatus were literally dangerous to where you were just like this close apart and it just snapped, and some of them would snap in half. You could actually get injured. But these have nice little plastic tabs that pull right apart. So just like any magnet, anytime you get it close, it pulls together. So those are the 2 magnets, and it comes with 2 platforms. The first platform is the larger platform, and it comes with these spring hinges. So when you are crafting, when you are stamping it, and these holes right here line up into these, and you know you're in the right, going in the right direction because the Stampin' Up logo is at the bottom front end, and you're gonna line that up. And see this gap? Let me flip this over. See this gap? It's not gonna touch your project. So when you ink up your stamp, it's not gonna touch it until you literally press down. And so we have the main platform, and then we have this step smaller platform that you can do what we call step stamping. So you can stamp that image there, bring that down, stamp, bring it down, stamp. And we'll do all that in just a moment. I just wanted to show you what it comes with, and you definitely want to get this grid paper because anytime you have an oversized stamp, you want to protect your surface and not have to continue cleaning up this nice white background. Now you don't have to, but you can certainly do so. If you don't use the grid paper, Stampin' Up has put in a ruler right here that you can see. You could barely see it though. From my poor eyes, you cannot see it, but let's see if I can get at that angle. There's a score line right there that you can lay your cardstock in. Let me see if I have my white panel really quick. But it's at an angle. And to me, I visually have a hard time looking at that. I like to keep my stuff straight. So definitely want the grid paper. German, thank you, Patty. You guys are funny in my chat. Okay, so these have little holes in the paper, and you just line them up into the holes on the positioning tool. This makes life a lot easier, especially if you have a hard time gripping the really large blocks. I know Patty here in the chat, she has really bad arthritis. I have arthritis. And it's just really hard to grip sometimes. And even with the old stamp positioning tool, you had to like really press down and rub and push and all that. This is just a slight little bump and you are good to go. So we are going to be using, again, I said the Fabulous Sayings stamp sets. And I think we're going to just go ahead and do... Let's do thank you this time. I did hello on the last one, but we'll do thank you because I can always utilize thank you notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this right here. I'm going to lay my stamp flat on there. I want to make sure that I am in between to where it actually picks up the stamp, and I want to put my magnets down to hold that in place, just like that, just like that. And then I'm going to push this in. I'm going to press that down, and it picked that right up. it did stick a little bit because this is a new stamp set. If you want to take the coating off of it, just rub it against your hand. Or I had this static eraser that I used on it, and it just removes that static coating on it, and now it won't stick. There we go. See how easy that just like push down and up. Now, one tip, and here is a really good one. If you are using this smaller platform, which is great for long stamps, and then that step stamping, you definitely want to keep in mind that this platform does kind of move a little bit. So you want to keep that. I always like to line up the grid on the arm along with the grid on the paper to make sure that I'm stamping straight. It does not move on the large one. Let me show you really quick. Let me put in the large platform. See, it does not move. And it just stays in place. But the skinny arm one does move. So you definitely want to keep that in mind and as you're stamping down. Now with the skinny arm one, you can easily open up your ink pad. And you can either put the ink pad to the stamp, or in this case, it's easy to hold onto this, the edge of the arm. Just tap that down. We're gonna put that back in its holes. Hang on, guys. Sorry, my eyes are playing tricks on me here. Okay. And like I said, it does not touch the stamp. The stamp does not touch our project. So you don't have to worry about that rubbing against it. So you just press that down and release. And look, a nice solid image. Before you would have to, it would take maybe 1 or possibly 2 passes, maybe even 3. But I barely pressed that down. But the good thing is that if you do mess up or it's lighter on one side, re-ink it back up, line that back up, and press it back down. And it'll just continue stamping in place. The fun thing is, we'll do one more stamp positioning thing after. Let's go ahead and finish up the projects. I don't want to keep you all here all day, but while we have this here, I'm just going to go ahead and put this back down, and we'll do our second one as well. Okay. Again, inking up. And I'm going to kind of halfway ink it and not fully ink it, just so I can show you how easy it is to put a second path through. Let's see if it kind of, oh, of course it's still kind of, it lightened up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but we're going to ink that up again. Even I just barely tapped it down, and the coverage that you get on this is amazing. Press that down. And I was off. I think my thing slid, but see, you guys get reality. There's always 2 sides to every piece of paper. You want to make sure that it's in the right holes and not... And it's all about trial and error. There you go. Okay. So let me grab a piece of paper really quick while we're here. And I'm going to kind of show you what I mean by the 2-step stamping or the Step Up stamping. And to clean this off, I just use my chamois and we just wipe that up. Okay, let me get the happy birthday. Okay, that's how. Okay, I'm going to lay it on my piece of cardstock first. Make sure I'm in the first strip here. I'll line that up in the corner of my grid paper right there in the corner. We're gonna pick that up. And we're gonna do a full strength as what we call inking up. I just want to hold that down for just a couple of seconds. And then you have your full strength. I'm going to move my magnets down just a little bit, go down to my next set of holes here. And then we'll do kind of like an ombre look. Then we'll stamp that up. Ink that up. And it makes it great for stepping down. Full strength, go down to the next set of notches. And it gives you a fun background. And then you can add the words "to you" at the bottom of that. And it gives you two different looks and kind of like that ombre look. And these are great for that stepping. If you're using a large stamp, you want to use the larger platform. This is great for scrapbooking. Even if you're wanting to stamp for scrapbooking pages, it has a nice open thing. Nothing closes it up. So you can at least stamp on scrapbooking pages. Before, it was more like a book like this, and it had a hinge, and it really constricted you on how much you can put in the positioning tool. And I think this is a huge improvement. Again, it just takes a tap of the spring and it's stamped. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up our projects. It's so much fun. Like I said, if you are a current Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you have until February 2nd. Otherwise, you can join my community and the part of the Tender Loving Crafter community. And I'm part of the larger community of about 450-ish demonstrators, Patty, in the Love to Stamp group. And it's like you get the discount, a $20 to $25 discount, and it's fun. So here is, we're going back to our main card here. Again, we're doing the horizontal orientation. I'm just going to come in here and add my butterfly. And I'm just going to add the butterfly right here on the body to glue that down to make the wings more realistic and coming off of the page. Okay, and I need some more foam adhesive sheets. I need to come cut some more foam adhesive sheet pieces. I'm so sorry. I don't remember what I just said, but you do get a 20 to 25% discount on your orders, not $20 to $25. Thank you for clarifying that, Patty. My brain went somewhere else. Thank you for fixing that for me. So we have our front of our card. I forgot to do the inside of our card panel piece. And we can put that on the inside. So let's trim that down to 5 1/4. Let's do it on this side. This, on the opposite side of this paper, is the leaves that I cut the butterflies out, and we'll pull the pattern in of that Lost Lagoon. So here is the horizontal orientation. Let's go ahead and move to the vertical. So we have the horizontal, and then we rotate that, and it gets us this template. So we're using the same measurements. Again, 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. We are doing 1 1/4 by 5 1/4 piece of designer paper right there in the center. Okay, now we're gonna cut our designer paper at 1 3/4, and then I'm gonna do 3 1/4 inch strips. I think I've already cut this at 1 3/4. Yes, I've already cut that at 1 3/4. So we're gonna cut 2 strips at 3 1/4. And it's gonna go vertically now, right on top of each other. Again, one template, 2 ways, 2 different looks. That is my goal. There's our circle. Then we'll add our butterfly. Okay, wing up those wings. And there we have it. There we have it in the Lost Lagoon. And for our purple lovers, the Highland Heather. So pretty. Which one is your guys' favorite? I would love to know, for those of you that are here live with me in the chat, which one is your favorite? I know that there's a slight delay. Again, these layouts will be on my blog tomorrow, January 30th. at cardsbytlc.com. So you can head on over there, get your free download for your weekly template to put in your template binder. And I'll be putting the Stampin' Up information join special in there, and I will also be posting it next week when it does go live on February 3rd. If you would like more information about joining my Stampin' Up community, I would love for you to reach out to me. And like I said, when you join the Tender Loving Crafters community, you are part of a much bigger group of amazing crafters called the Love to Stamp group. That's headlined or up, that is ran by my amazing upline Patty Bennett here in the chat. She's an amazing demonstrator. She's very well known in the Stampin' Up community, and definitely would love to have you part of my thing. Like I said, you do get a 20 to 25% discount on your purchases. You don't have to do what I do, live videos or anything like that. You could be your own shopper. I always look at it as kind of like a Costco membership. But you get to select your $125 worth of free product for $99, free shipping on that first order, and you get that stamp positioning tool for free. It's not going to be available to anybody else after February 2nd, other than demonstrators who sign up. It'll be later on in the year that it becomes available. I don't know exactly when. Our hunch is it's probably going to be in the new annual catalog starting in May, but we do not know. So definitely. Okay. Chris says he likes the top right and left. And Patty says they're beautiful cards. Well, thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate my new viewers here in the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you that show up each week with me. And I hope to see you all on Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Monday, I had a horrible flu bug that just took me down. So I will definitely see you all this coming Sunday. I believe that's the 1st. No, the 2nd. No, the 1st. So February 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will see you all next time for more creative fun. Bye, everyone.